Deadline edit SVP, so that's category 26. So a deadline story is a news story, for example, hard, feature, investigative, edited in less than 1 hour. The clock begins when the category when you place your first edit on the timeline, not when you ingest media. The emphasis on judging is on storytelling elements, sequencing, natural sound, etc. Though judges will look for creativity as well, entries must be 3 minutes or shorter. So the first category is solo video journalists. So they've shot it and edited it.
Two entries, Mayfield Search and Rescue and Clay City flooding. Residents of Clay City are cut off by February flooding.
By 9 a.m.
Several people lived over there on this side of the park.
The water was already going down.
Well, I see my shop up there, but I can't get to it.
Taking a lot of Clay City with it.
That's Red River that comes around here, and evidently it's taken a shortcut. It just filled up.
Yeah, let's see.
A shortcut.
I don't know how well we can do this.
Right through Marion Harrison's yard.
Oh, yeah, it's dropped quite a bit.
But not before filling up his mobile home.
Furniture's gone. Yeah, we've lost all of it. There ain't no saving nothing.
It's Harrison's first look at his belongings after evacuating Monday night. The Red River was unrelenting.
That was a good Suburban. I was on Swiftwater Rescue for 16 years, and I've never seen water blow out like that.
It's the worst he's seen in his 10 years in Powell County.
10 years as of last month.
Wendell Hurt remembers 1978.
It was bad, but it wasn't this bad. I don't think it was anything like this.
But says it doesn't compare.
Golly.
With as much as the river took.
This is unbelievable. I couldn't believe how fast the water came up.
Marion Harrison says it didn't take everything.
At least we all survived. Nobody lost their life. That was...
In Clay City, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News. 2 hours.
Search and rescue teams go door to door looking for survivors in the immediate hours after an overnight tornado.
2 hours before dawn, the vehicles appeared first, totaled.
Them's all buildings that's no longer there.
Then the homes, or where homes used to be. How many? It's hard to count.
There's so many that is leveled that I just really don't know how many was there to begin with.
Fire department.
Joseph Seidel and Chris Travis are members of Cuba Fire and Rescue. It's a blink and you'll miss it town. But early Saturday morning,
Let's check on right over here.
they're going door to door, missing nothing.
I just want to check on you. I know you having the oxygen stuff earlier.
Connie Sumner. You're okay here in the dark though?
Sure.
Is uninjured.
I'm not scared.
Even after a catastrophic tornado blew out all of her glass windows and leveled many of the homes across the street. Travis and Seidel keep moving.
To the other end of this block to check the rest of these houses. Go in, try to make sure there ain't nobody trapped inside or work. Fire department!
Every available firefighter
Anyone? No, we're there.
rushed to Mayfield, no questions asked, jumping into crumbling homes to be certain no one is left behind.
I think for the most part, we've got this block pretty well cleared.
Soon enough, the sun will be up, and there will be no illusion.
Just one block. There's a lot to go. We've been out here since about 9 o'clock last night.
This is a disaster. In Mayfield, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News.
In a small Colorado town, word travels quickly following a bizarre crime. Multimedia journalist Evan Krugel travels to Glen Haven to tell the story under a tight deadline.
In the small town of Glen Haven, word travels faster than Fred Statz's fingers on the mandolin. From fires to floods, this town has seen it all. At least that's what they thought until yesterday.
Yeah, everybody wants to know all the details.
Becky Childs owns the general store, where she was busy dishing out her famous cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, I was waiting on customers and busy lunch hour, and we started hearing screaming and yelling and saying emergency.
Just down the street, police say a teenage girl was being assaulted by a man in the middle of the road when a Good Samaritan stopped to help.
He got her in the car and drove her down to the fire station, where fortunately there was a fireman. There's usually no one there. It's not a manned station. So they got the girl inside, but that guy chased him down and came in and I guess started trying to beat her again.
Police say the Good Samaritan was able to restrain the suspect until deputies could arrive. The girl was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The suspect arrested on charges including attempted murder.
Yeah, there's an amen there. Lord's watching out over her.
So who was this Good Samaritan? Well, that remains the question on everyone's mind here in town.
I would love to know this man.
Childs says his next cobbler is on the house.
Oh, definitely. Come on in. We'll give you a cobbler.
Thankful he stepped in to help.
Yeah, I think there are probably a number of people who would stand up.
In Glen Haven,
I guess that's what a small town is all about.
Evan Krugel, Fox 31.
My feet started to bleed after running to get this piece on the air. A day at the races is far more fun when you talk to the experts who are not paid to be experts.
The World Championships of horse racing. It's like an all-star game where literally every single horse in a race could be considered the favorite, and that makes picking a winner that much harder.
Make some money today, guys.
Danny Linhart has greeted people here in Del Mar for 30 years.
How you doing?
But this weekend is different.
Different people, today's one?
Different stakes.
It's going to be probably way higher. I would imagine the handle will be gigantic.
Look at all the good jocks here.
Jeff Hayes and his buddies are counting on it.
You'll buy beers, or if we hit, we'll buy beers. We come almost every weekend here at Del Mar, and there's a buzz in the crowd. There's people from back east, from overseas. We're 3-9.
They're here to bet on the best from around the world.
The horses are so much better during this 2 days. 4 horses, beautiful.
It's the best horses in the world coming to one place. Right, 1050 out of a 20.
You got it.
That makes it much harder to pick a winner.
Well, you don't have to.
I know. Let's be live. It's way harder, but it's way better because you can catch 8, 10, 12, 15 to 1. That's a really good horse. $288 ticket. And it's just a matter of being semi-lucky, to be honest with you.
I won't bet today.
I don't care. Let's get live.
Tens of millions of dollars ride on these races.
The betting is awesome. If you can hit it, you're going to be good. If you don't, then you're going to be like me most of the time. Get up 4!
But this race,
that's the one! That a baby!
Ends with high fives.
Woo! Damn good!
Much better quality horses,
Much better horses for a much better time.
Hey, thank you, sir. You have a great day. Good luck.
Rainmaker.
An unusual urban flock and their eclectic owner are ruffling feathers in Kansas City, Kansas.
Rainmaker, I have brought the rain, raining on the ducks.
A serenade in the rain cleanses feathers and souls alike.
And ducks are the happiest creatures on the farm.
Karina West has been herding heritage breed ducks in her backyard for 3 years. West also competed in the '96 Olympics as a judo master. We featured her in the past as a mental health advocate at local fundraisers.
Mental health issues aren't necessarily permanent.
The ducks are part of West's urban farm. She also grows a lot of native plants and berries. And she says for her, part of this is about living sustainably.
Backyard poultry it's fun, it's safe, it's good for food security, and it's good for entrepreneurship.
But early in the year, police found too large a flock at West's home in KCK. She had dozens of birds. City codes only allow 6 without a permit.
Then I started the special use permit process and started reducing the number of ducks down to 12.
The United Government Zoning Board would only approve a permit for 8. The city says that's what state conservationists recommend.
The Planning Commission took that recommendation.
Ashley Hand, a spokesperson, says the city can also work with residents who want to file special permits.
We recognize that there's a lot of benefits to having urban homesteads, whether it's local food sources and, in this case, an entrepreneurial venture.
But West argues that her backyard, full of water and vegetation, can handle 12 birds. And when the Zoning Commission denied her at Thursday's virtual meeting.
This is Commissioner Johnson. This person is outside of my house, and she is confronting my wife and my son.
West showed up at Commissioner Harold Johnson's house.
I was very angry at the time that I essentially could not get a fair shake in the process.
She says it was a protest. She's been charged with disorderly conduct.
I think that I shouldn't have done that and that I was probably out of line.
The city says she can try to file another special permit in 2 years.
We try to work very closely with our community members to assess the opportunity, understand what's going on, and make recommendations that work not just for one neighbor, but all neighbors.
West wants to appeal. She says having the extra 4 ducks would allow her to better preserve this particular breed.
We need to reform our zoning processes so that they are more fair.
Her ducks make her happy, and she doesn't want to see her flock fly south. In KCK, Nathan Vickers, KCTV 5 News.
Passing by Tony, Deadline solo edit, Katie Eastman.
These are just pages of Tony through the years.
Moments of a kid's life pass by quickly for moms.
He was just a goofy like that one. He's just a goofy. He was just full of life.
Joelle Fairchild wishes she could go back and slow them down.
Tony, when he graduated high school.
Go back and gather more because her photo albums end too soon.
The final entry that I have in this book, and it's his obituary. So I like to look at him periodically because this is all I have.
Pictures of Tony Fairchild end at 27.
He passed away of heroin overdose on October 22nd of 2014. His body was actually found right underneath the overpass of 14th and Spear on the Cherry Creek path.
Joelle and Tony's stepdad, Brian, think of all the people who would have passed by him.
Yeah, there were so many people who had to have seen him.
They think of the people who still choose not to see the problem nearly 6 years after Tony's death.
But when it comes to substance abuse, people are not as loving and are not as giving and don't want to help unless you've been personally impacted by it.
She knows money can help with more resources, but believes a cultural mindset shift is needed too.
People tend not to want to help because they do think that it's a lack of willpower and they don't understand that it's a disease.
A disease that needs allies. Joelle wants the parents who never had to end their scrapbooks with an obituary to fight with her. Katie Eastman, 9 News.
Solo Deadline edit, Guns into Garden Tools, Katie Eastman.
In a Colorado Springs garage, a father and son bond over an old trade.
He's much better than I am.
Together, they've made more than 1,000 garden tools since they taught themselves how nearly a decade ago.
Doing this work has helped me feel more hopeful.
Hopeful. Because every time Mike Martin and his dad Fred create a shovel or a mattock, they are transforming a gun.
This is one of the tools that we make. This comes from about 6 inches of a gun barrel.
The pair learned how to do this 9 years ago when 26 children and staff were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. As Mennonites, Mike says the scripture calls them toward this work.
Turn your swords into plowshares, your spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up sword against nation. Neither will they learn of war anymore. And the more marginalized you get, the more at risk you are of gun violence. So when our society keeps pushing those people away, we're losing a great bit of wisdom and input from people who can teach us how to heal our communities. That thought of this is the last one wouldn't come unless it's the last gun, I guess. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, so hopefully that's for one of the next generations to do.
Fred says something beautiful happens when a tool designed to destroy life turns into one that creates it. Katie Eastman, 9 News.
A very quick turn, the story brought together well-shot photography, matched action sequencing, and video that directly reflects the audio.
Those two magical words.
It's a snow day.
A chance to get out and enjoy a sight we're not used to here.
You know, it doesn't snow much in Texas, so when it does come, you gotta take advantage. Murchison Hill when it snows. You know, everybody loves coming to Murchison. Yeah, they got it. Somebody built a jump. This guy skiing, he's been hitting it really high.
Oh, I woke up, watched the snow fall, and read the snow forecast, and came on down to the sickest ski run in Austin, Texas. Not quite as much vertical, but the crowd's, you know, a lot less. No lift lines either.
Yeah, what a treat. Texas always keeps you on your feet, always guessing.
How often is it the cold weather that brings us together?
It's fun. Not very often do you have adults. You know, as I was going down once, it's like, this is the last time I got to feel like a kid again. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, for me, it's kind of, it just reminds me of the old Austin a little bit. Community, having fun together, you know.
That a simple thing like going outside and playing in the snow and being with other people, that's a community that I can support. Just go out and be kids. I mean, out here it doesn't matter what you believe in, what you look like, how much money you make. Oh, but it does matter how much air you get.
That's awesome.
A community, together, all because of two magic words.
That's a snow day. It's exactly right. We try not to forget that tomorrow's Monday. If only this had been in the middle of the week, right?
In Austin, I'm Hank Cavanero.
Violence is out of control in our town. Went to a basketball camp that's also teaching players a message about safety. One camper just lost his friend to murder. Quick turn sidebar to the violence issue.
On the basketball court at East High School, it's a clinic of skills, some taught and some already learned.
The best part is just the environment, like being around my friends, being able to play basketball with people I grew up with and stuff.
Saquon Wester has the basketball part down. It's some of the other lessons.
Crime's not going anywhere. In fact, it's as bad as it's ever been.
At Coach Gerard Iglesias' basketball camp that are still sinking in.
A lot of my friends have been just passing away and going to jail, and it's sad seeing that because I grew up with these people.
A difficult reality for a lot of these young men.
I've asked that question before, and virtually all the kids who live in the city will raise their hand that they know somebody who's either been shot or killed.
That's why Wester plays with a heavy heart. His close friend was killed over the weekend, one of 4 people shot in a Walmart parking lot in Rochester. Friends since 6th grade.
It was always good vibes. So when I found out that he passed, it just broke me.
Let's go. Bring it in. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense.
The lessons at this camp go much deeper than basketball. Police officers are among those who coach. They discuss mental health, responsibility, and accountability.
So I think those things are so important for kids to have role models, mentors. That'll go a long way.
Good, good. Some lessons go far beyond just basketball.
It gives people a chance to get out the streets, stay out the streets and stay in the gym. Do what you love, play basketball.
In Rochester, Seth Voorhees, Spectrum News.
Okay, that's all the entry. That's all the finalists in that category. What have you, judges? Speechless, outstanding.
Really, no man is going to start speaking, honestly.
I'm trying to get organized. I thought the Mayfield search and rescue might have been the best.
I love that, and I like the Austin Snow a lot.
Yeah. I thought guns into garden tools was cool.
Which one was the tornado? Was that Mayfield or was that Clay City?
I think
I have
But Mayfield is in Kentucky, right? From December.
I think my notes
When that
are
happened.
backwards.
Mine were off by a lot.
I thought the flooding. I thought the flooding story was stronger.
Yeah.
I
like
my
the
one
flooding
note,
story.
and I don't know what to. These are always challenging, but it went from like darkest of night to broad daylight in a shot, and just if this was truly shot and edited in 4 hours, it looked that questionable. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought the transition from day to night was good. I mean, I even noted it. But it's an edit. This is a 1 hour edit, right, Sean? From the first edit?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's sorry. I would maybe misunderstood the.
Yeah.
Well, what is? It's a 1 hour edit. It's not. I mean, it could be 2
Okay.
days of video. Just a 1 hour edit, not a
Okay.
1 hour time span.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like the rawness of it, and but go ahead.
No. I want to hear what you have to say because I'm of those two, I'm tossed up on which I like more.
So, really, Amp, you tossed up? What's happening? I'm going to be the comedic relief of this group. So, I liked the tornado one more than the flooding because the tornado one for me is just kept moving and cutting from shot to shot when people are walking like that is very difficult. And I think that was done well. I liked the rawness of it. And I mean, I feel like he drew me in, right? I mean, there's like everything was there. The sound was there from the woman. I'm not scared in the dark. And like I really liked it. And I liked Austin for similar reasons, but I mean, I like that he didn't clean his lens. I hope for his sake it was intentional because it showed me that little specks of snow that you don't see in Texas very often, right? I agree with you that I wish there was some more like right turnaround and reaction shots, but I understand also being by himself is probably very difficult to get a reaction shot when you're getting the jump shot, right? From the little bump that they built. But I thought it was full of reaction and full of characters, and it was just lovely. I felt it was nicely done.
I think I had the titles wrong. I think the first one was the flooding, and the second one was Clayfield Search and Rescue. So I just switched those just not to confuse you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I changed. I would put the tornado #1. That parallel park with the woman saying she wasn't scared was such a strong moment and well executed.
I like flooding. Not flooding. I'm sorry, tornado. The most Mayfield, because it's loaded with sound. Loaded with sound. The sickest ski run in Austin. You guys gotta know, I live in Kentucky and they're jumping over that little hump, so I'm laughing because it's just so cute. So
it's cute. It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute on so many levels. My kids still behave. I got a kid going tubing tomorrow, so I can, as a dad, I so relate to that. As a kid, I relate to that. Now I'm scared to think about doing it. It hurts.
And they're like, I wish it was a little more vertical.
The guns in the garden tool, I thought it was an interesting reveal. Yes. I think the reveal could have been stronger. So for me, that would be like a 3rd place or an honorable mention. I love the sequencing in it. It's hard. It's a hard story because the nat sound is the same. It's either a drone or a ping and that kind of thing. So it's hard. They varied it up pretty good, you know? So in a 1 hour edit, they varied it up really well. So that's why I like that one. So if it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I think that's the way I like it. I like tornado, ski run, and guns. We haven't talked about a 4th really. Well, the flooding, but I don't.
I thought the flooding was pretty clean for mixing the sound in.
I felt it was normal though, as a visual edit. I didn't feel like, that's what I mean, audio I think is king. I'm all about the audio. Because you get rid of the picture, you still have audio. So maybe Clay City is an honorable.
So are you in unison with Mayfield Search and Rescue first?
Yeah.
And are you in unison with Austin's Sickest Run second?
Yes,
Cody?
I am.
Yeah, I am. I think the only thing that I wasn't too big of a fan on for the Austin was just the reporter's read. Everyone was having fun, but he made it sound so depressing. But that was it. But other than that, I mean, that's just being picky. But I think that it's a good number 2.
It's impressive that you noticed that. I typically notice that, like that's one of my biggest pet peeves, but I was so engaged in the story and living in Texas and having sledded last year during the freeze before, losing water. I was so connected, but yeah.
Okay, and then you are good with guns into garden tools 3rd?
Yes.
I am. Yeah.
And then are you giving Clay City honorable mention or not?
I feel like it's deserving.
Sure.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Okay,